Hello, everyone. This is Tiffany Harrison, head counselor at Milton High School, and I am going to be sharing our 9th and 10th grade information night presentation with you in the event that you missed it when we held this on Tuesday, November 28th. Our presentation agenda includes a guest speaker who, if you did not attend the live night, unfortunately, we don't have her slides, counselor roles and responsibilities, graduation, financial aid, course selection for 2024-2025 school year, and our 9th and 10th grade checklists. Amanda Jackson is our representative from the Princeton Review. If you are interested in hearing more or learning more about the presentation she gave about high school academics and college admissions, please just email me at harrison3@fultonschools.org. I'll be happy to share her information with you and see if she can get you some of that presentation. If you're not sure who your student's counselor is, this is our counselor caseload breakdown. I, again, am Ms. Harrison. I am the head counselor and I facilitate all dual enrollment. So regardless of your student's last name, if they are participating in dual enrollment, I work with them. My office is located in Suite 1340. Mrs. Lehman has students with the last names A through COR, and she is located in Suite 1360. Ms. Hoaglander has students with the last names COS through HOK. She is located in Suite 1340. Ms. Bartley has students with the last names HOL through MC. She is located in Suite 1360. Ms. Rhodes has students with the last names MD through SAN. She is located in Suite 1340. Ms. Wilson has students with the last names SAO through Z, and she has she's located in Suite 1360. I apologize if you can hear my cat meowing. I am doing this from home. So to start off, what do counselors do? Counselors are communication advocates, which means that we're in a unique position to help you establish positive communication with your teachers, coaches, and administrators. That's for both parents and students. We offer academic coaching, and we help your students make informed decisions about their academic future based on data. Data is more than just grades. It includes attendance data, teacher feedback data, behavior data, and more. This also goes, we'll talk about this more during the registration slides, but there are many factors that come into play when recommending your student for a course beyond the grade they received prior to that. Counselors also help with post-secondary planning. So if you or your student are not sure what's next, counselors will help match your skill set to the perfect post-secondary option for you. We do offer social and emotional support. So counselors are available to offer short-term support and refer you to outside resources in difficult times of grief, anxiety, and more. What do counselors not do? So we do not do parking. We have zero influence or power in resolving parking issues. That includes if your student does dual enrollment or if your student signs up for multiple online classes. There are parameters in place for parking. Seniors are the only grade level guaranteed parking, and then juniors can enter the lottery. It does not matter what kind of classes your student is taking. That does not give them an advantage. If you have an issue with that, we are still not the people to take that up with. You would want to talk to the front office. We also do not do attendance. So if you have attendance issues, you should handle those with the front office. Ms. Luther is our attendance person. She can help you with college visit excuses, sick excuses. If you need to take a remote day, that you would handle with your assistant principal. Counselors in high school do not do extensive social emotional counseling. So it is not in the scope of a high school counselor to provide extended one-on-one counseling to students. We can absolutely help refer you to an appropriate resource if your student needs this type of support. Just with the high number of students per counselor caseload, it is not feasible for us to offer 1 to 2 times a week for an hour if we have a caseload of 400 students. So when we see that your student needs that type of counseling, we will refer you to someone who can offer that because we do want them to be supported. Counselors also do not do discipline, so we are not part of the disciplinary process. If you feel that your student needs this intervention, you should reach out to your grade level assistant principal. We help with the emotional piece, we can help with the academic piece, but anything that involves them getting in trouble, whether that is detention, ISS, OSS, you handle that with an assistant principal. Your number one resources for information are going to be the counseling website and the Milton website. So if you want to stay in the know, we highly recommend bookmarking the Milton counseling website. We also encourage you to sign up for the Eagle Update. If you access our counseling website, there is a button there where you can sign up for the Eagle Update. That's a weekly newsletter that's released on Sunday evenings directly from our principal. It includes everything from sports to academics to PTO bulletins. It is our comprehensive Milton High School newsletter. Be sure to update your email address in Infinite Campus to receive Infinite Campus Messenger emails. Counselors do send emails through there because if we are sending a grade-wide notice, we can't go through and pick one by one. We'll send it to the emails for an entire grade level. Over the next few months, we will be moving to the Milton High School website. So for the past few years, we've held an independent Wix website. Unfortunately, we've just gotten a little bit too big with too much information on our site. If we move over to the Milton one, we have unlimited data on that site. So we'll still include all of the information you see on this website, but over the next few months, we will be moving to the Fulton County Milton High School website. Next, we'll talk about graduation requirements. On the left side of the screen, you will see all of the areas in which your student must meet to graduate from a high school in Georgia. Students who are interested in attending a four-year college need 2 consecutive years of the same world language. If your student does not plan on attending a four-year college, then they don't need that language. Some courses count toward graduation requirements, but may not be recognized as core credit by colleges. If you want to be sure that your course is considered a core credit, you can click this link. The USG Staying on Course document will tell you the University System of Georgia's approved core credit courses. Our personal fitness waiver is now digital, and instructions for completing that are on the Milton Counseling website. You'll go to Academic Advisement and then scroll down till you see Personal Fitness Waiver, and then you will complete that personal fitness waiver on a digital platform. In order to be promoted from 9th to 10th grade, you need to earn at least 5 credits. In order to be promoted from 10th to 11th grade, you need to earn at least 11 credits. And to be promoted from 11th to 12th grade, you need to earn at least 17 credits. Again, that personal fitness waiver is now digital. So if you've had a child waive personal fitness in the past, this new process is different. In the past, there was a paper form. Those were very easily lost. They got lost often. Students had to fill them out multiple times. So luckily, the county switched over to a digital platform. It's a lot easier for coaches to access, for counselors to access, and for students to access. If your student is having a significant issue filling out that waiver, you can have them book an appointment with me, Ms. Harrison, and I can help walk them through that. Again, that's located under Academic Advisement, Personal Fitness Waiver on the Milton Counseling website. A few things to be aware of: the county has approved additional ways to waive out of personal fitness. So now your student can use an approved PE elective. It will be listed on that form. They could use JROTC if they did that, non-GHSA sports, and GHSA sports. Those sports have to be approved by the athletic director. So if he feels that they are not up to par, then he will deny them, but that is up to him and that is at his discretion. Please refer to the document and read thoroughly before contacting the counseling department. If you still have questions, you can reach out to your assigned counselor, but if you are having platform issues to where you can't access, that's when you can meet with me. Middle school credits for high school. Some students were able to take courses in middle school for high school credit. Few examples are physical science, and that is not to be confused with the science physical world, which is the 8th grade science, Spanish 1 or 2, Algebra 1, and 9th Lit Comp. In 8th grade, you and your family had the option to accept these credits or deny them for high school credit. There was a form that you or your family signed off on at that time. Milton High School is not able to alter credits from middle school for high school credit. The option that you and your family accepted or denied in 8th grade stands. Our retention policy and credit recovery options. So again, the number of credits that are required to be promoted to the next grade: 5 to go to 10th grade, 11 to go to 11th grade, and 17 to go to 12th grade. If you happen to fail a course, there are a few different options you can choose from to recover credit. There's summer school. That information will come out in late March, early April. That is the face-to-face option. There is Fulton Virtual School. There is Georgia Virtual School. And then there is Fulton County Credit Recovery. Miss Kelly Bendel is our lab support person. If your student chooses to recover a failed course, and if it's even offered through the credit recovery program, the student has to meet with their assigned counselor to register for these courses now. In the past, they were able to go to Miss Bendel to sign up, but there's been a change on the county side where this has to be scheduled for them, and only counselors are able to do that. So if your student needs to register for a credit recovery class, they need to meet with their assigned counselor. And then I do want to just add as a reminder that credit recovery courses taken specifically through Fulton County Credit Recovery are not NCAA approved. So NCAA has returned to the pre-COVID requirements. I recommend visiting their website and making sure that you know everything your student needs. NCAA will approve face-to-face summer school and if your student reseats for a class. Tracking your graduation status. Unofficial transcripts are available for viewing at any time in Infinite Campus. All you have to do is log into your Infinite Campus portal. On the left-hand side, you'll scroll until you see Documents, select that, and then scroll all the way to the bottom until you see Unofficial FCS Transcript. You can also print a track sheet on the Milton Counseling website. You can find that under Academic Advisement. Click the Graduation Requirements tab, and then scroll to the bottom of that page where you can either view this or you can print a Word document page. If you're planning on attending a four-year college in Georgia and you want to be eligible for Hope or Zell Miller Scholarship, you will want to monitor your Hope Rigor courses. So our new tracking sheet includes a box in the middle on the right-hand side where you can write in once you've received or earned your 4 required Hope Rigor courses. Understanding your GPA. In Fulton County, they use a 100-point scale, so you will not find your GPA on a 4.0 scale anywhere. There is a difference between your core and your cumulative GPA. A core GPA is going to only include your core classes, your English, math, science, social studies, and world language. Your cumulative GPA will include all of those courses and your electives. There is a weighted and an unweighted GPA. A weighted GPA will include points that you earn by taking honors, AP, and dual enrollment classes. If you take an honors, AP, or dual enrollment class, you get 7 points added to your final grade at the end of each semester. That cumulative GPA weighted will include those points. If someone or a scholarship program asks for an unweighted GPA, that means that they are removing those honors points and then calculating your GPA. If you want to calculate your Hope Scholarship GPA, the Hope Scholarship GPA calculator is located on the Georgia Futures website. You can go to Shortcuts and then your Hope GPA. Weighted numeric GPA includes all of your AP, honors, failed grades, summer courses, and courses retaken via credit recovery. It's important to note that the GPA is an academic record and all of the courses you take in high school will be on there. It is not an option to ask to have certain things removed from your transcript. If your student has taken this class, no matter how they did on it, this is an academic record and it is required to be on the transcript. On that note, if you are looking to go into college in the state of Georgia and you want to be eligible for Hope or Zell Miller, if you're not familiar with the HOPE program, it stands for Helping Outstanding Pupils Educationally, and it is a unique scholarship and grant program that helps students financially earn a degree, diploma, or certificate at eligible Georgia public and private colleges and universities and public technical colleges. To qualify for the HOPE or Zell Miller Scholarship, you have to be a citizen and legal resident of Georgia. You must be a graduate of an eligible high school and meet academic achievement standards. and you must be in compliance with selective service registration requirements. So that's for male students. To apply for HOPE, you can follow two avenues. One, you can complete your FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid, or you can complete the Georgia Student Finance application that's found on the Georgia Futures website. Both of those will take care of the informational piece. The other part of your application is a final high school transcript. Your student will not have a final high school transcript until they graduate. So technically, your student will not be eligible. You won't know if they've earned the scholarship until the summer after they graduate high school. Additional college-specific application and deadline requirements may be required, so be sure to check with your post-secondary institutions to make sure you have everything you need. If you're not sure the difference between HOPE and Zell Miller Scholarship and HOPE and Zell Miller Grant, if you're looking at the scholarship, that means that you are trying to attend a four-year college. If you're looking at the grant, that means you are looking to attend a two-year or technical college. So starting with the scholarship, for HOPE, your student must earn a 3.0 unweighted core GPA upon graduation. They must take a minimum of 4 rigor courses over the course of high school that is not per year. If your student earns the HOPE scholarship, it will pay a percentage of their tuition. And if they attend a private school, it will pay a stipend amount towards your tuition. For Zell Miller Scholarship, again, that's a four-year college. Your student must earn a 3.7 unweighted core GPA upon graduation. Again, you must meet that 4 rigor course requirement by the time they graduate. That is not 4 rigor courses per year. Because this is a higher paying scholarship, there is an additional piece. There is a testing requirement. So if your student takes the SAT, they must earn a 1,201 sitting of the SAT, or if they take the ACT, they need to earn a 26 and 1 sitting of the ACT. The benefit to having the higher stakes is that the Zell Miller Scholarship will pay the full amount of tuition for public institutions. And if your student is going to a private institution, it will be a stipend amount, but obviously that will be a higher stipend amount than with the HOPE scholarship. Moving on to HOPE Grant, remember this is our two-year or technical college grant. Not a specific GPA is not required, but your student must maintain a 2.0 GPA at the checkpoints in college to keep the grant, and it will also pay a percentage of your tuition. If your student earns the Zell Miller Grant, again, this is a two-year or technical college because it's a grant. Again, no specific GPA required upon graduation. They do need to maintain a higher GPA in college, a 3.5 at the end of each term, because this will pay the full amount of tuition. If you were going through that slide and wondering what the rigor courses were, these are the rigor courses on the right-hand side of the screen that we offer at Milton High School. If you're interested in obtaining the HOPE or Zell Miller Scholarship, you must take 4 of these classes by the time you graduate. Again, I will reiterate, you do not have to take 4 of these per year. It's just 4 over the course of the 4 years of high school. If you're not sure how many classes you've taken that are considered rigor courses, you can view the unofficial transcript in Infinite Campus and compare these lists, or you can go directly to your Georgia Futures account and they will show you your rigor course count. You'll use your transcript in Infinite Campus, count your rigor courses. If you're having trouble with all of these, you can always reach out to your assigned counselor and they will know the amount of rigor courses that you've taken. So the other piece that's really important to note is the way that the Georgia's HOPE program calculates GPA. This is a GPA that's very frequently confused with the college admissions GPA, and we have a lot of families that when they see this GPA panic because it's lower than what they thought, and families feel like this is going to hurt their students' chances of getting into college. So as a reminder, this is a scholarship qualification GPA. This GPA is only calculated this way to earn this specific scholarship. Otherwise, you are sending your full cumulative weighted GPA to colleges for admission unless they ask otherwise. A good example of that would be UGA. They request an unweighted transcript. It's still cumulative. They just want your honors, AP, and dual enrollment points taken off. But this scholarship qualifying GPA I like to call your skinny, ugly GPA because it is. It's a bare bones GPA. It only includes your core classes, which are English, math, science, social studies, and world language. They do not include middle school courses when calculating the GPA or rigor courses. And they take off all of your honors, AP, and dual enrollment points. They do not round up. So if your student has a 2.9999, they are not going to round that up to a 3.0. That makes sense because they're giving away free money. So it's very, very unlikely that they're going to round up in order to help you get that free money. And they do make this difficult. And that's the whole point. It's a scholarship program. It is not a guaranteed, it's not guaranteed for anyone. So we do like to have families be aware of what their requirements are as early as possible so your students can perform highly all 4 years of high school. Again, you can check your students' preliminary HOPE GPA on the Georgia Futures website. You can check their rigor courses. I highly recommend keeping a close eye on this every semester. Every semester, new courses go on there, and then your final HOPE GPA will be the one you earn once you've submitted a final high school transcript. Again, that's a piece of the application that doesn't go in until you graduate high school. So on another note, we are gearing up for registration in the spring, and registration happens from January until roughly the beginning of March. This is where you pick your courses and you recommend your courses for the following school year. This may seem very early to some, but when you take into account the fact that we have to build a master schedule, we have to hire teachers. If there are courses that don't have enough interest, then we have to switch around what those teachers are teaching. There's a lot that goes into preparing for a school year. So when you're selecting courses for the 24-25 school year, teachers will make the recommendations for your core classes. That happens at the end of January. Students will choose 2 credits worth of electives every year to put in their Milton schedule. We also prefer that students choose 2 additional options in case you don't get your first pick. A lot of times it's not because the class doesn't have seats, it's because the class conflicts with the other courses that you want to take. All students must have a total of 6 classes each semester, unless you are a senior. In this case, none of you should be having seniors, so you will be picking a total of 6 classes. Factors that you want to consider when choosing your courses: are these courses meeting your graduation requirements? Have you met the prerequisite course requirement? So if you want to take Ceramics 1, that's great, but have you taken Intro to Art? And then you also want to consider your rigor requirements. Students and parents should direct any questions regarding course selection to their assigned school counselor. Your assigned counselor is the one who maintains your academic records, and they will be able to tell you the most quickly where your student stands. These dates are tentative and subject to change. We have not yet met with the middle school, and the middle school needs to approve these dates before we can set them in stone. When these dates are set in stone, they will be released through the Eagle Update. But tentatively, for right now, we plan on having our Registration 101 sessions to be released on January 8th. Those will be 4 pre-recorded sessions, 1 per grade level, specific to the grade level, helping them choose the classes for the next school year. The week of January 22nd through 26th, teachers will be meeting with students one-on-one to discuss their course recommendation and make their course recommendation for core classes. Students will complete their elective choices January 29th through February 2nd. We will be doing that on a paper form, and students will have the week to choose 5 electives that they would like to see in their schedule. We will pick the 2 that fit best. Students will receive a round 1 verification form during advisement on February 8th. This will confirm the teacher recommendation and the teacher recommended courses, and then the student elective choices you should see on there. If your student has questions, counselors will be available in the Media Center for student advisement on February 9th and on February 12th. I would like to remind you that this is for students only. We ask that students come and ask whatever questions they have. If you are a parent and you are wanting to receive advisement, please email the counselor. This This session happens in one large room, so you don't have a private environment to have any kind of, I guess, personal conversations. So this is definitely not a time where we want to do a parent-student conference where people can overhear you, but we do encourage students to come with quick questions because we realize that they might see something and not know what they should do. Students will turn in all of their desired changes on that form by February 14th. So the form will be due on Valentine's Day. This is when your student chooses online, if they want to go up in rigor, if they want to drop in rigor, if an elective is on there that they don't like or didn't choose, they can cross that off and we'll take it off. Students will receive a verification that changes were made on February 23rd. So this is different from in the past. We will not be offering a second round of changes once they get that second form. That is just a confirmation that the paper they turned in on February 14th, that the counselors processed it, and they will see, yes, we made your changes. Teachers and students will receive a final opportunity to make minor adjustments the week after spring break. This is also different. So we realize a lot of things happen and a lot of things change between February and August, and we've heard your feedback. We want to try and offer one final wave of changes closer to the summer so that you don't feel like there's too much of a gap there. So you will be able to make your final adjustments April 8th through 12th. A few things to note, the verification form is not a schedule. We use these verification requests, or these are course requests, to build a master schedule in the student information system, and that creates schedules over the summer. I highly encourage you to very carefully consider the full picture of all of your time commitments before making selections and changes. You are seeking balance in your schedule, and we do not want you to set up yourself for stress, anxiety, or failure. So, yes, I have no doubt you're capable of taking 6 AP classes, but if you have 5 clubs and 2 varsity sports, and you are volunteering regularly, and if you help babysit your siblings in the afternoon, you may be able to do 6 APs, but you don't have the time. So I highly encourage you to think of all of the things that you are committed to when creating your schedule. Families need to be prepared to make informed decisions by the deadlines. So you can set up a call or email your assigned counselor with questions before the registration period. We cannot sustain 2,000 meetings in the registration window. So if you do have questions, I highly recommend starting to send those emails. We want to help you and we want to advise you properly, but there are a lot of you and only a few of us. So we want to make sure that you have all the information you need by the time you have to make your selections. The Registration 101 videos, when we release them on January 8th, will be extremely helpful when picking your courses. It will give you an example of course progression, and it will show you all of the available options for your student. Changes will not be as flexible as in prior years. We're really working to streamline this process so that we don't make a lot of last minute changes. We want students to have everything set up at the start of the year. Schedule changes are a huge disruption to the start of the school year, and we are working to minimize the amount of schedule changes that are made in August and in January. And the best thing we can do is inform you of what classes are available, have you think about it, and then make sure that everything is set and ready to go. When considering an honors or an AP class, I also want you to consider the qualities of an honors and an AP student. So an honors and an AP student has the ability to grasp new concepts at a rigorous pace without intervention. They advocate for themselves if they're struggling with materials. That means if your student is having a hard time, they will go to the teacher, or they will go to a tutoring society, or they will raise their hand and say, hey, I don't get this. They are independent and self-motivated. They complete homework independently and thoroughly in an appropriate amount of time. They make efficient and effective use of class time, and they work effectively with other students. So there are many factors that go into what it means to be an honors or an AP student outside of a numeric average in the class. If you're interested in an AP course, we do have AP fact sheets on the counseling website They have information on class norms, the expected hours of work time, and they include student feedback from students who have taken those courses. You can find the AP fact sheets under the academic advisement tab, and you will choose AP courses at Milton. Again, I want to harp on creating a balanced schedule because one of the biggest issues that we see at Milton is stress and anxiety and overwhelm and an inability to keep up with the amount of work that students have putting on themselves. And while we do admire that students are pushing themselves, we don't want them to push themselves so hard that they can't handle it and break down. So please, when you're selecting your instructional levels, look at the totality of the schedule. Again, think about your outside of the school commitments in addition to the classes you're choosing. For best results, follow the teacher recommendations. Teachers know your student. They spend hours and hours and hours with them. They know their work habits. They know how well they work with others in a group. They know how well your student does their homework. They know how your student studies for tests. They know if your student stands up for themselves. So teachers are making recommendations based on a number of data points. I also want you and your student to be honest with yourself. Consider your work ethic. How much time can you contribute and how much time are you willing to contribute to studying? How do you handle academic pressure? And how many outside time commitments do you have? Properly evaluate your time management and what you can realistically handle. And remember that your mental health and overall wellness should be considered when making a final decision. Having a mental breakdown as a result of stress does not do anyone good. As long as you are taking a healthy mix, and I say mix of rigorous courses, it does not have to be stacked with APs. If you get involved in and out of school, you will do great. Colleges love a well-rounded student, and you are so much more than your course selection and your grades. They are important, but you can also take advantage of a lot of other time commitments and activities outside of school that look great on a college application. And lastly, your mental health matters. Preparing for the future is important, but so is your mental health. So consider your workload and cut where necessary. Take the time to pursue your interests beyond post-secondary planning. Spend time doing things that fill your cup, like quality time with friends, families, and pets, community service, exercising, reading, cooking, gaming, arting. Practice healthy coping mechanisms. Know that you're not alone and lean on others. Everyone is doing schoolwork, everyone is studying, and everyone is taking rigorous courses, it seems like. So you are not alone in that. You can take walks if you're feeling stressed. You can meditate when feeling stressed. I recommend trying yoga or doing breath work. That also helps with stress and anxiety. A few focus items moving forward. So Georgia Futures has great checklists per grade level, so you know what you could be looking at to make sure that you are on a good track for your future. So in ninth grade, you want to start keeping track of your extracurricular activities. You want to start thinking about what careers you might be interested in and researching what the requirements for those are. Um, Develop good study habits. Learn positive time management skills. You can start thinking about what your financial aid situation is, and then that will help kind of guide you onto what kind of college you want to go to. You can start talking to your counselor about dual enrollment or other opportunities in college, military, and career. A 10th grader, you can start or continue researching careers. You do take the U Science aptitude test, and that's a really fun, well, I wouldn't call it fun, but it's a very helpful activity that will pair your students' aptitudes with their interests and give them career options that they might not have thought of before. Take time to learn about different standardized tests. So you'll want to take the PSAT if you know that you want to go to a four-year school that requires test scores. That can kind of give you a taste of what those standardized tests are like. And then over the summer, hold a part-time job, volunteer, start working on those extracurricular activities that you are going to put on your college applications. A few save the dates for 9th and 10th grade specifically. We did go into 10th grade classrooms and completed the Bridge Bill activity on October 20th, which was, I believe, a Friday. The 9th and 10th grade information night was November 28th. We do have our dual enrollment night and AP 101 workshop, which is presented by the Princeton Review. That will be held on January 18th. We have a virtual presentation by Peachtree College Planning that will take place on January 23rd. We typically have those offered at noon and at 7 p.m. on that day virtually. We have another virtual presentation by Peachtree College Planning. It's our college jumpstart. So that would be more towards 10th grade as you're going into your junior year, which is very research heavy when it comes to college planning. That's on March 5th. And then our last session of the year is another virtual presentation by Princeton Review, Crafting Your College Essays. That will take place on May 16th. We will be going into 9th grade classrooms to complete the bridge built activity. We haven't determined a date, but more than likely we will go through advisement multiple times to hit all of our 9th graders so that we don't disrupt any of the core classes while they prepare for testing. Please remember that registration happens from January to February and a little bit into early March. We have very specific processes in place, so plan to pay close attention to your social media, email, the Eagle update, and check the Milton Counseling and Milton High School websites regularly. We push out information via every avenue other than coming to your door. It's the best thing we can do with such a large base of people to reach. So please update your information to make sure that you're getting access to this, because we do share all of the information related to registration with plenty of time to make educated decisions. And we encourage you to follow us on social media. We have a Twitter or an X account at Rep M Counselors. We have an Instagram account at Milton Counseling. And we do have a YouTube account where this presentation will be posted, youtube.com/Milton High School Counseling. And if you are not already signed up for the Eagle update, this is a QR code. Highly recommend signing up for that. You will not receive any kind of spam email. It is once a week on Sundays with all of the information that you will need to know about Milton High School. We had 3 counselors on duty for the parent night. If you were not able to have your question answered, if you were not there, please reach out to your assigned counselor to either schedule a meeting or a phone call or ask whatever questions that you might have. Otherwise, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to working with you for the next few years.